Okay, we're getting close to buttoning this up. I just finished installing all the sensors. Got the crankcase sensor installed, the camshaft position sensor, the oil pressure sensor, the map sensor. Over on the front over there is the temperature sensor. Also installed the fuel rail. The actual that rebuild kit came with a couple sets of O-rings for the fuel injector, so I got those swapped out. Got brand new fuel injector O-rings. Still using the original fuel injectors though. And again, the only sensor that I actually swapped out was the NOx sensors that are down under here. Those are harder to swap out. These, if I'm just going to run with these used ones, if something happens, they're so easy to replace. So I'm going to do that.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, the gravity pulls you straight down.
Okay, so while this engine was at the machine shop, I was sitting upstairs on my comfy couch ordering parts. And instead of ordering the truck water pump, I made a decision to try and do a little bit something different with the water pump. There's 3 different versions of water pumps for this block. The truck one exits up here like this. There's another one where they'll drill a hole here and they'll exit straight out of here. And then the one I bought, thinking I would be kind of smart, was this. This is from a 2010 Camaro. I wanted it to exit over here on the driver's side of the engine, because the inlet of my radiator is right over here, and I thought I wouldn't have to go back and forth between my air intake and the water pump outlet of the water pump. So thought that was a smart idea. What I didn't realize is this bracketry and this wheel for my front accessory belt is in the way of this unit. So I either have to cut this off and find another way to route all that stuff to use this, or possibly not even, or go back to something standard. The problem also is the tensioner. I'd have to change the tensioner, find out what kind of tensioner that 2010 used, and because this configuration is a little bit different than that. So this is probably going to go back. And I probably will I think I'm going to take some string and run it through the configuration to find out how this, or I can take the old belt and put it back on here. I still have that. And see if we were actually use the other configuration where it comes out right here. If that doesn't touch the belt, I probably will do that. I can come down below my air intake. My air intake probably go up and around back this way, or might even go around that way. But this thing, I want to keep it low and out of the way and over that direction. So we are going to, that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put some string in here and find out what the configuration is, see if using that is a viable option. If so, I'll do that. I just don't like this for some reason. But if worst case, I'll just buy another truck style water pump, and we'll get that all reworked, and I'll have to route this around. It's just going to get ugly. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm not going to give up on this idea yet. I really like the idea of having this on this side, although the other side's over here, it's just a small pipe. That operator hose always kills me when I see a cool looking modified car. You open the hood and you see that big old hose go across there. So I'm trying to shorten that and get that out of the way. So I'm not going to give up on this idea. I found out when I was doing the research on the other water pump, I did find a company that, let me lift this up and show you. Here's this bracket again, and it would be mount about like that. And so you can see the interference. But there's a company that makes a bracket that goes right in here where I can move this idler pulley over this direction, and then we can cut off all this bracketry over here, and that gets rid of the interference that's taking place. Between that and then I need to buy my old tensioner that's on this other side will not work with this water pump, so I got to buy an LS3 style water tensioner. So I've got that on order as well, but I'm going to start next by taking this off and removing this bracketry. Okay, so I quickly just used a Sharpie and marked out the lines and kind of the area that I'm going to take off. We're taking off this end of this bracket. That's pretty easy. Okay, so that didn't take very long. Ground down pretty smooth. I'm gonna go mock fit it on the engine right now, make sure it fits. When it does, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this back up. I've already painted this once, but we'll get some more of that engine gray paint on here and get this all cleaned up, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we've got this mocked back up, and we got plenty of clearance over here. This is gonna work out perfectly with this little tongue of this bracket cut off, as well as the LS3 Style Water Pump. I've got the tensioner is come in. We're going to get that installed. We got the relocation bracket in, and then we're going to get that installed. We're going to get the alternator back on, the new pulley. So I'm going to start by taking the water pump back off. I don't have the gaskets installed behind here, so I'm going to get that back off and get that installed with the gaskets. That'll be permanently installed, and we'll move from there. Okay, so here is the idler pulley relocation kit from Dirty Dingo Motorsports. So we get this installed. Came with some longer bolts, couple washers, and then the actual brackets. I'm gonna get this opened up, and we're gonna get this thing installed. Well, the belt that they recommended didn't fit. It's too small. So I've taken some string and I've wrapped it through the configuration, and I've got a starting point of the string up here, as well as you know, where this string comes and touches it. And I've marked that with this with no tension on it, and also drug some tension down on here, and it made the belt obviously smaller. And as it did, I came and I actually made another mark right here. So I know that my belt needs to be somewhere between those two marks. And realistically, because this string is digging down inside these grooves, I've got to add a little bit to that as well. So let me get that figured out, and then I'll give you an update on which belt I actually used. Okay, so the belt is on, and you can see now it's taken a little bit different configuration. The fact that we've moved this idler pulley from this location over to here. But that is all worked out. All these items are going to spin in the right direction. Specifically, this water pump's got to spin counterclockwise, and that'll work. This thing went together just like I kind of expected, and I think it looks great, and I think we're ready to rock and roll. Okay guys, hey, we are done with the physical build of this engine. It's a 5.3 liter LM7, pretty much stock. We got a different cam in it, a comp cam. It's going to give it a little bit of a load, make it hopefully sound kind of like the original engine that's already in the Jeep. We're not quite done yet. The next set of series, and we're going to go through the entire wiring harness. I'm going to do a lot of deleting of stuff we don't need, deleting wires, cleaning it up, and making a lot of decisions. I got a pretty good approach on how I'm going to do that. I've done a lot of research. LT1swap.com is just an incredible resource. If you're looking to do this, you got to start there. And I'm going to go through some of the items that I've pulled off that website, and it's kind of all the research background of what I'm going to do. But I've got a little bit different approach maybe that I'm going to apply to it, and hopefully be able to outline it in video format just so it's a pretty good resource for somebody. But I want to thank all of the people, all of my subscribers. It's incredible when you spend a little bit of time making some videos and you do it for fun, but you get a comment back, or I think one of my favorite things is just someone, the number of likes that these things get. Just a simple like, a little thumbs up thing just tickles me to death. So I would appreciate that, and all the people that comment. I've got met a lot of nice people over the past just 6 months on YouTube. So I appreciate every one of you from the bottom of my heart. But so yeah, next couple episodes we will be jumping into the wiring harness, and I'm kind of excited about that because I've done a lot of research and I think I'm ready. So stay tuned. I'm going to actually have, after probably the next video, I'm going to put together a subscriber giveaway. It's not really based on the number of subscribers. I'm going to give away a copy of the book that I used to build this. There's a lot of books out there probably just as good as this one, but I've really enjoyed not just the steps 1, 2, 3 on how to build an engine, but between the paragraphs there's a lot of things in here that says, oh, you need to try this or think about that, and that's another reason I didn't just rush through building this engine. I wasn't building it to get it done, I was building it to learn. So anyway, I thought it'd be kind of neat if for those that are kind of following the series of this, maybe I'll just give it this. You could read through that without even having an engine in front of you, and thought that would be. So we'll do a separate video on that giveaway, and I hope you'll take a peek at that and enter a chance to win the book. And if nothing else, we'll see you next time.
Jack it up.